Okay, so I have to talk about this whole Justin Bieber thing until it comes to an end, until he comes to that realization that he needs to learn about boundaries when it comes to respecting other bloodlines. It's the same type of discussion that's going on right now online, dealing with foundational Black Americans and their delineation. That's their ideal, right? I mean, it's literally like you being able to you having ability you being in your own category, so people so there's more clarity in regards to groups of people, right? So that's the whole discussion. The reparation things, I don't want to talk about that right now, but I mean it's still important to understand uh, lineages and bloodlines, and that distinction is very important in society. Is very, very important. Just like when you go to the doctors, right? And then they ask you what ethnicity you are. It all depends on, like, which area you live in. So, like, let's say if you were in a predominantly Hispanic or a predominantly Black area, then they would ask you, "Are you this? Are you Latin? Are you Hispanic? Are you non-Hispanic? Are you from El Salvador? Are you from Venezuela? Are you from Colombia? Are you from Mexico?" Right? It's important to understand. People understand the type of people that um, we're living amongst, right? So, knowing for its fact that America is trying to work out this situation when it comes to genealogies, when it comes to other people's DNA. Now, when it comes to Justin Bieber overstepping boundaries with me, right? He needs to go back into his own category, the truth of who he is. Justin playing around with that illusion of black, that's finished now. It's so embarrassing because, like, even like when people think about Hollywood, there was always that from day one when it comes to Hollywood, the truth was always there, right? Think about, like, remember the issue with Elvis, and then over time you end up finding out his dance moves came from some black person, right? Or remember the situation with Betty Boop. The truth about it was like, oh, it was a black person. Betty Boop was actually black. There's a lot of those truths that, over time people started to, oh, okay, hold on, I need to get comfortable right now. But yeah, so I mean, at the end of the day, I don't like the angle that Justin took his so-called career to, just because he wanted to play the illusion. I don't accept that. Yeah, basically using my name, using my personality, using my personal story. He used the timeline out of events that came out of, from me personally, my experiences, my journey in life, and he's using it to pretty much make clout for himself. I will never accept that. I would never accept somebody committing that type of fraud. You know, I'll give you an example. Like right now, he's using Twitch, right? Just look at that scenario. He's in a warehouse. It looks like he rented a warehouse, and then he put some furniture in there. He put a playpen with some baby stuff in there. And then he's trying to play out this fake scenario when we know that's not even his life. That was never he's okay, let me tell the truth. Justin, you pretty much tapped into my own past life with my family. That's what you did. And you created that scenario using Twitch to create another lie. You're lying to society right now using Twitch. So basically, um, in let's say that scenario occurred in 2020, no 2012, 2012. Okay, that was my past life scenario in 2012. Okay, well, where was Justin Bieber in 2012? Wasn't that the time when he rented a house around the lake here in Los Angeles? So, I don't care about you, Justin Bieber. I don't care about you. Make it very clear. And you had no right to sacrifice me and my life to build a career for yourself in Hollywood. You're committing fraud against me. Do, do you understand? Like, you're a scam. Like, you're trying to infiltrate my life too much. Like, literally trying to attack every angle out of my personal life. I don't feel sorry for you, Justin. I don't. Only somebody who's mentally ill would take these measures and go so far in trying to cover up your life so much, Justin. That's all you're concerned about is using me to cover up your life. So I just don't respect him. He's not a person to respect. You're not like someone like Justin Bieber. He's not supposed to have my money because that's not his life. You understand me? And you had no right to be tapping into such wicked, demonic, like wickedness like that. You took it too far when it comes to using magic. And you need to get lost. You're a loser. You use so much magic on me to the point where you're just a loser. You've proven yourself to be a really, really, really bad, diabolical, evil, demonic, wicked person. Why you have to use so much magic like that? It's because you're wicked. It's because you're stupid. It's because you're so ashamed that you grew up um, on welfare, and you're so ashamed that you left Canada at the age of 10 years old, Justin. You're so ashamed that you were born in 1994 and you left Canada at 10. So, the only Canadian records when it comes to Justin Bieber's existence, it only started from the day he was born, which was March 1994, up until the age of 10 years old when he left Canada. So everything else beyond that was never his record. It was never his past life. Everything that he talked about, it was never him. It never came from his ancestors. It never came from his mother. It never came from his father. As long as people understand the amount of lies that Justin posted online, it was never about him. It was always about what me and my family and my ancestors, what we did in this existence. Justin, he's supposed to make his own money. This is the issue. He's supposed to go make his own money. That's what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to be lying about your life and lying about what you didn't accomplish, all because you wanted a certain type of house. No, you can't have my house. All because he wanted to be something that he's not. You're not me. You didn't come from my lineage. Your ancestors came from Turkey, they came from Greece. So, whatever your ancestors were doing in Turkey and Greece, that's your Akashic records. There's no, you're irrelevant. There's no type of connection when it comes to my ancestry and your ancestry. Where's the proof? Trying to be all up in my business, all because he has no business. Because they never did anything. They were welfare bums back in the day. Your mother didn't do anything. Your mother couldn't take care of you. That's what happened. It's so disgusting. Like, they have, if he was smart, if Justin, if you were smart right now, you would just stop what you're doing because this is heavy, heavy generational judgment on you. You can't, when it comes to God and his people and the bloodlines, there are boundaries. Yeah, I keep talking about these things. But people like Justin, they don't listen, but take heed to these messages. And I know you listen to them because you're stalking me. I know that. I come from a bloodline of ancestors that accomplished a lot of things in this reality. Your bloodline did not accomplish what my ancestors accomplished. It's already recorded with God. Stop trying to push your face up with my people because it wasn't true. Justin would have been like some, let's say there was some black people, they had their house, they had their businesses and whatever, they're in their corner doing whatever, right? And then some like random like poor white kid from the 1960s or 1970s, he didn't have no food, he didn't have no clothing, he didn't have nowhere to stay, and let's say some black person fed him some food. You weren't in our house though. You get what I'm saying, Justin? You weren't in our house. But now at least some black people can learn now not to feed people like you because you're a sellout, you're a hypocrite, and in the end, you ended up becoming ungrateful. You end up turning into a racist. So we know for a fact what was a mistake. That you should have been disgraced and abandoned. The black people shouldn't have fed you. Excuse me. Yeah. So I'm so tired right now. I'm gonna go back to sleep. But yeah. when it comes to genealogies, when it comes to the patriarchs out of the Bible, and then black people's ancestry, Justin Bieber is irrelevant to the cause. You are the problem out of history. You're not the solution out of history. And you're not the solution moving forward when it comes to God's people and his purposes. You can't be in our categories. You are the enemy of God. Make it very clear. He needs to just, he chose the devil. Justin chose to worship the devil. He didn't choose God. You may be putting on a big front on social media as if you're all about God. You're not. You worship Satan. It's Satan that's telling you to be a racist. It's Satan telling you to hate other cultures of black people and all kind of crap. It's the devil in you. You're not essential to society. You're actually a pest. You know that? You're an annoyance, Justin. You're that embarrassment that needs to just been pushed aside because you just cannot serve. He's trying to like race war with like people like me, but he's lying to society saying that he's me. Get lost. You're a loser. Only a loser would think of something like that. You're such a loser to the point where you would never come on social media and admit who you actually are. That's how weak you are. You're so weak you don't even want to be Turkic. That's how weak you are. You're so weak you don't even want to tell the truth and admit, oh yeah, I'm from Greece. That's my ancestry. Yeah, yeah. Well, obviously, back in the day there were Afro Turks and there were Afro Greeks. Yes, there were. But we don't know the records. We don't know if, like, Justin's genealogy, if he encountered, like, the black African Greeks back in the day. We don't know that. But at the end of the day, he can't even call himself that. Do you get what I'm saying? He's a narcissist. You can't call yourself black, Justin. You're a narcissist. All you see is your white face and your brown hair. Sometimes blonde hair. You dye your hair blonde. That's all you see. You don't see black. You don't see Asian. You don't see Mexican. You don't see Latino. You don't even see you don't even see yourself. You only see yourself how you want to see yourself. You don't see the truth of yourself. Oh God, I'm just tired now. Yeah, I'm gonna sit down and play the devil. You know what I mean? But it's just a disturbance at this point because, like, it's the fact that he wants to align himself with me, and that's a huge problem. You're a big problem to my bloodline, Justin. You're a big problem to my ancestors. We don't pay attention to racist people. The line is drawn when it comes to you trying to be us. Knowing that this is what you've been doing all along, what does that prove? He's not superior. Everyone's been fed lies. He's not superior. That's all. You've been copying off of me. That means I'm superior than you, Justin. You prove that. You know that? Knowing that you're copying my life, I'm superior. You're not. You're less. I'm more. God, it's kind of cold out today. It rained last night, and then now it's just freezing, and I just don't want to turn on the heat, so it's just like so annoying. But yeah, like Justin is an unnecessary challenge, and he needs to go away. He's this generation of like he's this generation of stupidity that should have been in his corner a long time ago. You know God doesn't like this type of racism, right? God don't like it. Just admit to God that you're not in alignment with God. Just do that, Justin. And it's that whole, oh my God, you know what's the worst part about Justin Bieber right now? Is there's a particular type of delusion that he's trying to carry. And that's that delusion thinking that he inherited a certain inheritances from certain ancestries. It's that delusion. Okay, let me tell the truth. Let me break it down. Justin Bieber, you did not inherit the black Jewish inheritance out of the last decade. That is not your inheritance. You're